Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you getting into my sinking funds for the month of May. So we're going to go through and set up the beginning balances to all 15 of my sinking funds and the deposit amounts I'm going to put for each of those to come up with a number that I'm only going to transfer one time into the account, the savings account I use to hold all the money for these sinking funds. My sinking funds are annual or quarterly expenses. So that means they either happen once a year and on a particular month, or they come out every quarter. So I have one expense I know that's about to happen in May. I have not heard back. I think it's my organ to keep the bugs out of the house and things like that. And it's definitely time to spray. It's getting warmer and things like that. So I want to make sure my house is pest free. And so far so good. We've been here less than 2 years in my house, but yeah, organ and what they do has been working. So I want to keep using that for as long as I can. So we're going to dive into this and find out how much we need to put into this particular savings account so that I can pay these annual expenses or quarterly expenses as they happen. Now, the simplest way I can explain a sinking fund is that you sink money into either a savings account or a checking account, or you sink cash into an envelope and do a cash envelope. However you do it is what's best for you. What works best for you is what I want you to do, but they're all the same. They're all doing the same purpose. It's sinking money, putting it aside for a particular purchase in the future. That purpose could have different titles depending on what's going on in your life. If you have small children, you're going to have categories that are going to reflect activities or things that you need or you do with your children. If you have babies, you might have a diaper fund or a baby clothes fund. If you have just small kids, you might have activities fund and then clothes and so on and so forth, because kids outgrow those clothes so fast. And then once they start school, you might have a back to school fund, things like that. So depending on your season of life and what is going on in your life reflects what you would have in your sinking funds. Now let's go ahead and get into the numbers. So what I need to do is take a glance. Now I have off camera here notes that tell me what the beginning balance are, but I'll tell you where I get them. Because I have a list that I keep up with for my saving account every month, and I categorize everything, and I know this number matched my bank account, so I know all these are funded based on this number. This is my closing balance for the month of April. So I'm going to take all these numbers and I'm going to move them over here to the beginning balance of May. That is where I'm going to start. Then I'm going to take what I've already planned for the year. Every time I have a sinking fund, I take and divide by 12 so I can pay a little bit for each sinking fund and then make one deposit that satisfies everything I need per category here. So that is what I do every month. I don't always film it, but this year I decided to start filming it again and you guys seem to like it. So let's go ahead and get into the numbers. So Amazon Prime here, we have a beginning balance of $89.32. We're going to do a deposit of $12, which is my monthly deposit I make for my Amazon Prime. And then when Amazon Prime comes due in September, I can use this amount of money to pay for that on my credit card because it comes out on my credit card every year. Next, I have Google Storage. This is something my husband signed up and asked for a sinking fund for. Okay, that's supposed to be 0. I'm looking at the wrong numbers. Oh my gosh, 0. I looked at the wrong column. Let me backtrack. 600 is right. I know that one. None of these are right. Let me go back and erase. Okay, so the first one was right and the fourth one was right. That's not a big deal. I looked at the wrong column and kept going with it, so let's go back. My deposits are not going to change. That's the same. The Google storage was $25. Oh gosh, I'm so embarrassed. $23.32. What I was doing was putting the answer when you add the deposits up. I really should not have had that in this piece of paper. It's $23.32. $600 for home maintenance, $141 for Orkin spray, and then I have $0 left because the bill came out last month. This month I have $30. Next month I have $30. And then the month after that is when the bill's going to come due again. And that, I will find the difference and bring it back to $0 again. Southern States, I have $100. And then car taxes and tags is $264. $50 for car maintenance, and I'm adding $50 this month. Let's see here. Xander ID, I have $72. Then I'll add $12 later. Norton, I actually have $16.36. I do apologize for the screw up there, writing the wrong column down. All right. So Norton, I do put away $5.33. Tax preparer, this is for next year. That might be the last time I use a tax preparer because I'm working with 2 different states here because of a mess up that the VA did. $20 is what I have. I'm going to add another $20. I might start doing them myself again, and then not next year when taxes come due, but the year after. So we'll see if I keep this or not. Birthday and Christmas. So this is for my son's June and December birthdays, and then both of them December Christmas. So I can buy gifts and things like that. We are sitting at $197.93, and we're adding $100. And it's also Christmas for the whole family, not just my son's. So it just depends on certain things. $205.81, and I will be putting $50 away for the cell phone tech. $2,581, yeah, $50. And then activities fund, anything can be used for this, whatever we decide to use it for. $325.19. If I can't afford to drive down to North Carolina again, which I just got back from, to help my parents out because they're moving to the area I live, and we're really excited about that. Actually, as I'm recording this, they're doing their first showing of the house and things like that. So we'll see what happens. It's a really exciting time, nerve-wracking but exciting. And so I might have to drive back down. I might need the extra cash from here. Or we could use this to go to an aquarium or zoo or things like that this summer. So we love doing those things. $50. Canva, we have $0 because I just paid it in April. And I put $10 a month away from that. It's $119.80 or $70.60 or something. I don't know. And I put $10 a month away until the final bill shows up, and then I make an adjustment. So Epidemic Sound is the music I use for my videos here. So that's $72 that I have already. And again, I put $12 here. Now this is not a high yield savings account, but I do get dividends, and they're very, very small. And this month it was 42 cents. So I already had $1.75. I cashed them out the previous years. At the end of every year I cash them out, and I start again in January. And then this month I had 42 cents. There we go. So I'm not putting anything for withdrawal or ending balances. I will do that for my closeout at the end of the month. I don't know if I'm going to make a separate video for that, or if I'm just going to mention it in my closeout budget for the month of May. Because I'm only going to have probably one transaction, which is the Orkin, and yeah, that should be it. So let's total up the numbers on what my beginning balance is and what my new deposit balance is going to be. All right, so my balance here is $2,230. $2,200.32. And that was exactly what my bank account said before the new dividends came in. So I know that number is accurate, and it's my ending balance of last month. So it's definitely accurate. Now we're going to total all this up, and I'm going to get my sticky notes here. And I'm going to have an amount that is the actual deposit. And then I'm going to write the total with the dividends in it. So that's what I'm going to do here. All right, so I stopped at $12 here. This is my deposit this month, $445.99. That would satisfy all these little different sinking funds that I have set aside that I want cash for, and I'm just throwing them into one particular savings account. And that's the amount of money I'm going to be transferring over on the 15th of the month, which is paycheck 2. So that's where I get this number from. And then I'm going to add the 42 cents, which is a little bit of dividends there. And then that gives me $446.41. So that is what that is where I'm at today. Now, in addition to sinking funds, I also have a savings tracker, and it's ran just like a sinking funds account. It's another savings account, but this is a high yield savings account. Not very high, but it's within the same bank that I bank with. And for right now, we have our emergency fund, our vacation fund, and starting to grow a home and car fund. And then where I make where I save money to put money aside to put into my Roth IRA. Usually it's for the next year because I'm fully funded right now. I do know when I hit 50, which will be in October of this year, I can put another $1,000 into my Roth IRA, but I'm going to wait until the end of the year to do it. So I'm just saving it here in my money market account. And you're going to see the interest that's already allocated for that account right here. Okay, so let's get started. My beginning balance is also the ending balance of April, just like the sinking funds. So I'm just going to go ahead and write these numbers down. My emergency fund beginning balance is $29,052.00. I'm thinking about bumping that up to $30,000, just an even number, but I'm going to wait a little bit before I start doing that, but I definitely think it would be worth doing. This is actually considered 1 year for us because my husband gets a military retirement check regardless if he works. He gets a VA disability check regardless if he works, and our son pays us rent. And so, yeah, those things come in all the time. So that plus this would give us an entire year of what we need. And yeah, it works out pretty good. So, vacation fund, we have $4,000. And this came out of a bonus that he got earlier in March of this year. So I just put $4,000 aside from that. And then a home fund. Okay, so we used a majority of this pretty substantial bonus that my husband got to replace the siding on our house. It was desperately needed, and it wasn't original to the house, but it definitely needed, yeah, because there was wood siding, and underneath that wood siding was vinyl siding. So I'm like, oh boy. So yeah, it needed a replace. It was flaking, it was breaking. Wasp nests were everywhere on the inside. They were just, it was a hot mess under there. And so what we have left over out of that bonus for what we were using as a home fund was this $3,945.57. There we go. And then I started saving. Well, I didn't start saving just yet. We were supposed to get a car part for my husband's Jeep like in March. Still hasn't come. They keep saying it's on order. I'm like, whatever. And so I put $700 away a long time ago. I think it was last year. And it's just been sitting there. So the car fund has $700. That's all I know. So I already have $200 put away for my last $1,000 for my Roth that I'm going to contribute when I turn 50. And that'll take it all the way to December. So we're good to go there. And then total up until April in dividends we had this year was $1,903.74. And we have a deposit of dividends on the first of the month, and that was $34.67. Now, I do not see a lot of activity happening in this savings tracker this month, so I think this is all it's going to be. So we're going to total up the savings right now, and this should reflect exactly what the bank account says. There is an opportunity to transfer like the emergency fund and maybe the vacation fund or the home fund, one or the other, to a higher yield savings with Edward Jones, which is where our financial advisor is. So that's what we need to talk about, and I might move our sinking funds from a regular savings account into this money market account, because if those are gone, then I need something in there to kind of bolster it up a little bit. And then I can start other savings things that I want to do. I want to save $10,000 for the future for certain projects and stuff like that, but we haven't gotten there yet, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing just yet. So let's go ahead and total this up, and I'll be right back. All right, so we have $38,091.31. And so far we have $34.67 in our dividends for that savings account. So yeah, overall I'm happy with where we're at. This used to be a lot higher. I used to average about $50,000 a month in there and staying in there, but that was because we sold our house from Virginia almost 2 years ago, and what was left of the proceeds, I think we got a check at closing for $71,000. We used a lot of that to update the carpet, the appliances, all the appliances. The only thing we didn't change out was the microwave, and all those kind of things in the house to make it our own. Had the house painted, new siding. That came out of the bonus though, not the move money. But you know, we've done a lot and taken care of a lot. So this is what's left of all of that. And I think we're maintaining pretty good. We're at 38,000, not 50, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm happy with the savings tracker. If you're curious about the spending tracker, this spending tracker is just a continuation of how I track on my own, my spending, not that one. Let's see. My spending tracker here. So all these get categorized like this on here, and if I run out of room on these 3 pages, I got a half page to work with over here, so that's the reason that's there. But that is that. This is my sinking funds and savings tracker. This is how I keep up with everything every month. I sit down, I do the math, I carry the balances over, and I look at the bank account, and as long as the numbers match, I am good to go. So that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my video, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love